Hello, good morning, everyone.
Hello.
We will start in just maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Good morning once again. Welcome into our second lecture on data mining. So if you remember, last time, which was yesterday, we discussed what is data mining, what are the tasks of data mining as a discipline, how data mining is placed among other disciplines related to data science, in particular database theory and practice, machine learning, data acquisition, and so on. And we agreed that, first of all, data mining is about data preprocessing. Once the data have been acquired, we need to preprocess it for further application of, for example, machine learning methods. We do so in particular by data cleaning, constructing some descriptive statistics, removing possibly invalid data or other way around, filling gaps, normalizing data, computing features which may later on be used uh, for machine learning on this data, and then running some I would say lightweight or preliminary stage machine learning in order to first of all to see whether the data we have acquired are promising in any sense, for example, in order to enhance our business logic or provide any business value. So that's roughly where data mining is. Okay. And then we decided that in order to get a meaningful and I would say comprehensive end-to-end study of data mining, we will be basing it on the financial area, working with exchange data, in particular financial data coming from Moscow Exchange with regards to certain financial instruments such as USD ruble exchange rate. We decided that there are several instruments of interest, and USD ruble there are in particular, for example, two instruments with the settlement so-called today and tomorrow. We need to clarify actually what tomorrow is in a little bit more detail. What today is clear. It is the day of trade after 17:30, as we have discussed. And we, after the lecture, even made links to data sets, quite large, which we'll be using in our studies. So did you try to download the data sets?
Yes, it downloaded.
Okay, so you have seen how it looks like. And in order to make meaningful use of this data, they are just comma-separated values, but we need to understand precisely what the meaning of those data parameters are, what the meaning is. We are going to spend today's lecture discussing in detail the notions mentioned previously: orders, order books, trades, matching engine, and things like that. So how all these notions are connected to each other and what we actually see in those data sets and how we are going to process it. Okay, so let us first maybe make some general discussion, and after this general discussion we will apply what we have understood from that to our data sets, and this will allow you to start already building your order books using those data in the lab sessions which are forthcoming. Okay, so first of all, what conceptually the financial exchange is? We are talking, for example, about, at this very moment, the currency section of the Moscow Exchange, as you remember. So what it is all about? Um, the exchange, or this section of the exchange, is a set of so-called matching engines. So basically the structure is the following. So let's say there is a Moscow exchange, and in general, as I mentioned, Moscow exchange consists of three sections, three major sections. One of them is equities. We may use them as well later on. Equities are also called stocks. So stock exchange. Very much like, for example, NYSE, which is New York Stock Exchange. There is an equity section on the Moscow Exchange. Then the section we're going to deal with initially currencies, also called FX. You have no doubt heard the term Forex, foreign exchange. FX also stands for foreign exchange. More professionally, we more often say FX rather than Forex. And yet another section is futures and options. Collectively, futures and options are called derivatives. We're not considering them at this very moment, but we may eventually consider them as well. And in this section, there would be even more data than, for example, in the currency section we do. Now, within each section, we have so-called matching engines for each instrument traded at that section. So we have already seen number of instruments at each section. So all these are, for each instrument, we have matching engines. What is matching? Matching is precisely a process which we'll discuss in detail now, of matching two orders and getting a trade as a result of this process. So let's see, we'll see it very shortly. Matching engines. Which matching engines? One matching engine per instrument. Okay. So what are the instruments? We have already seen some instruments. So one instrument, all instruments have names, and the name of the instrument is called symbol. Instrument name is symbol. So what are those symbols? You already remember some from our previous lecture. For example, we considered an instrument called USD 6 zeros TUD. You remember what it was?
Is it USD to ruble today?
Yes, it is actually, so this symbol is actually USD to ruble with the delivery today. USD ruble with the delivery today is not only traded at Moscow Exchange, there are some other smaller exchanges where this instrument is also traded, and at those exchanges it is typically called, like the second name I put it, is really USD/ruble slash today, something like that. Okay. And at Moscow Exchange, the symbols are slightly different. Okay. So another one is called, we have seen it as well, USD 000 UTS tomorrow. And this is USD ruble with the delivery tomorrow. In a similar way, we have for euro, interestingly enough, the symbols are more natural. So there is a euro rub underscore today and euro rub underscore tomorrow. Okay. And there are some others. So for example, it is also for, let's say, British pound to ruble, Swiss franc and so on, but they are much less liquid than these big four instruments. And there are some others. In general, it is very important to understand how the instruments are formed. So for FX instruments in particular, but also for others as well. But let's start with the FX instruments. As you can see, they all have the structure like A to B, and then today or tomorrow is called tenor. Where A and B, in this particular case, are two currencies. They're just called currency A. CCY is just our abbreviation for currency. Currency B, so currency A, for example, is USD. Currency B is ruble, and tenor. Okay. Interestingly enough, in general, for FX instruments, unlike a ruble traded at the Moscow Exchange, the tenor is mostly neither today nor tomorrow. If you look at the international currency market, the tenor is typically called spot, which is T plus 2. So for example, if the trade is made today, then it is settled not even today, not tomorrow, but after tomorrow. And obviously, if one of the days tomorrow after tomorrow is not a trading day, for example, it is a weekend or a public holiday, then the settlement is pushed further down. So for example, if it is Euro USD, by the way, Euro USD is also traded at the Moscow Exchange, although neither Euro nor USD is native to Russia, but in some small volumes it is traded. In the Moscow exchange, we have Euro USD again today and tomorrow, but that's at March. But generally, Euro USD spot, which is international convention, is T plus 2. So you can say that today is T plus 0, tomorrow is T plus 1, and spot is T plus 2. And if, for example, T is 2nd of July, suppose that this is the 2nd of July, and suppose that it is, in that particular year, is Friday. Can you tell me, please, what is T plus 2?
Tuesday.
Sorry?
It would be Tuesday because we skipped Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, so just nominally, T plus 2 would be Sunday, all right? But there is no settlement on Sunday. Therefore, it is pushed further down, and T plus 2 will be actually 5th of July, which is the following Monday. And the 4th of July, by the way, falls on Sunday in that particular case. Or if T is again 2nd of July, but now 2nd of July falls on Monday, then what is T plus 2? Well, in that case, just nominally, T plus 2 is the 4th of July, which is Wednesday. But there is no settlement for USD. You see, there is a USD here on Wednesday, 4th of July, because this is the American national holiday. And by the way, this applies to USD ruble as well. And therefore, T plus 2 is again 5th of July, which is Thursday in this case. Similarly, if T is, for example, 4th of July, then at the Moscow exchange today, let's say USD ruble today, sorry, USD ruble with the settlement of today, what happens with it? It is not traded at all. There is no delivery today. USD ruble with the settlement of tomorrow is okay. It is traded. So holidays affect not the trading day, but the settlement day. You can ask the question whether the corresponding currency pair A to B is settled on a particular day, depending on whether A and or B can be settled on that day. If either A or B is not settled because of a national holiday in whatever country, okay, for Europe there are no national holidays apart from all common European, for example, Christmas days, then if both A and B can be settled, then the whole pair can be settled. So you see, you already need some kind of business calendar in order to calculate the settlement days. Trading and settlement are quite different processes. Okay, let us make...
Excuse me.
Yes?
What is going to be tomorrow in the case when today is 2nd July, Friday?
What is going to be tomorrow? Okay. T plus 0 is 2nd July, Friday. T plus 1 is Saturday. There is no trading on Saturday, and therefore it falls on the following Monday. Monday is already 5th of July in this case, so it is settled, and this is okay. Therefore, we can say it is 5th July, Monday, in this particular case. We have 4th of July over the weekend. There is no settlement over the weekend anyway, but when T plus 1 is rolled on the following Monday, it is already okay and it can be settled.
So basically, in these cases, it does not matter which one we choose, tomorrow or spot, yes?
No, spot T plus 0 is settled on this 2nd July, Friday.
No, I
You
meant
mean
T
spot?
plus 2, T
Spot.
plus 2, yeah.
Good question. Sorry, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. I was wrong with this example. So thank you for pointing it out. This example is okay, but T plus 2, and in any case T plus n means T plus n business days. So if it is Friday, so returning to this example, thank you for pointing it out, yes. So T plus 2 is of course T plus 1 going to be Monday, and T plus 2, which means 2 business days, is in this case 6. You're absolutely right. And in this particular case, T plus 2 would be Wednesday, but it is rolled further on Thursday because of the holiday. But I was incorrect. You're absolutely right. I was incorrect here. It does go for Tuesday in this case. Absolutely. So
Okay, thank you.
in general, thank you for pointing it out. Is T plus n is T plus T plus n business days. Then the general formula. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Sorry, I still didn't get why we changed it to Tuesday. Why not Wednesday? If like it's Monday, it's Tuesday.
But we
on the second day.
We started with Friday. So T plus 0 is Friday. T plus 1 business day is Monday in that case. T plus 2 is Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay.
Understood. Yeah.
So T plus n business days. Weekends are not counted, and national public holidays in which either currency A or currency B cannot be settled is not counted either. Okay, let us make just a very, very brief 1 or 2 minute break, and we'll continue from this point on. Okay, returning to our instruments, we now understand what the tenor is. And as we see, there is a currency A and currency B. So an instrument is typically a pair of currencies with the added tenor. When we specify the currency pair A and B, they all come in a particular order. So the instrument, for example, for USD ruble exchange rate is always specified or quoted, as we say, as USD to ruble and never other way around, never ruble to USD. This is just a convention. There is a sequence of currencies, and if in this sequence a currency appears on the left, one currency appears on the left of another one, then the left one is A and the right one is B. I will illustrate my point actually, so what I mean by this. So we'll already know that USD is on the left of ruble because it is quoted USD to ruble. Okay, so there is a USD and somewhere there is a ruble. Now euro comes into play. Euro is on the left of both USD and ruble. Therefore, it is euro to USD, euro to ruble, how it is quoted. Now there is a Japanese yen. Japanese yen is on the right of all of them. JPY is the symbol. All of them, by the way, are international currency codes, which are standardized by the International Standards Organization, and these are standard designations for the currency: Euro, USD, ruble, Japanese yen, JPY. What else? There is a British pound, and interestingly, British pound is in between Euro and USD, so GBP is somewhere here, where the Swiss franc is either to the left of USD or to the right, I don't quite remember, but if I understand correctly, it is to the right, and it is here, in between Swiss franc and ruble, and so on. So if we ask what would be the currency pair of, for example, GBP and Swiss franc, it is GBP to Swiss franc.
Sorry.
Yes?
So in this ordering, we have the first element. So the first element should be always euro. If we have euro in pair with something else.
I don't remember any currency which comes on the left of euro.
Okay, thank you. And the second question is, so that if we write euro to rubles, for example, we can exchange in both ways. We can exchange our rubles to euros and backwards, our euros to rubles. Am I correct?
What does it mean both ways? It is always quoted as euro to ruble.
So I need to pay my euros to get rubles.
It means no, it means the following, and let us be precise. So when the quoting sequence is A to B, we say there is a currency A and currency B. There are, by the way, also important terms. So currency A is called base currency. So B doesn't mean base. That's a misconception some people have. A is base. And currency B is called quote currency, or it is called settlement currency.
Can I ask a question? No?
Just a second. I will just illustrate
Okay.
in 1 minute, please. Okay. So why is it important? It means that the quoting rules is the following. we say, for example, A to B with some tenor is quoted, and the value is, for example, 10, which means that the value of 1 unit of A is equal to the value of 10 units of B if delivered at T plus tenor. Okay, at this point, I'm ready to answer your questions.
This line from euro to JPY, is it static, like is it constant, or can it change in case euro goes down?
Of course, none
okay.
of them are constant. They are not constant. They are
Mhm.
changed every millisecond. But when the value for this particular moment is quoted, so for example, at some moment, well, euro to JPY would be, for example, I don't know, 130. So we would say euro at some time t, euro to JPY equals to, with the delivery, if there is no tenor, then by default it is assumed that the tenor is spot. And for euro JPY, spot is, as for vast majority of other currencies, spot is T plus 2. So euro JPY at spot is, for example, 130, 0.1 at this particular moment, which means that the value of 1 euro at this particular moment T is considered by the exchange to be equivalent to the value of 130.01 units of JPY if delivered at T plus 2. For example, why it is important to say if delivered at T plus tenor is that if you, for example, consider the values of those USD ruble instruments with different tenors today and tomorrow, then the values are different. Typically, USD ruble with the delivery of tomorrow is, what do you think? Typically, what would be the relationship between the values USD ruble today and USD ruble tomorrow?
You mean typically which will go
be
up?
greater? Yes, which will be greater?
I guess USD will be greater.
USD ruble tomorrow and USD ruble today. Which value is greater typically?
USD ruble tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow is greater. You are generally right. And this is what we may actually examine then using our data we're going to deal with. An interesting question is why. So yes, typically the exchange rate, the value, the exchange rate, the price of our exchange rate is in this case also called price of our instrument. Price of USD ruble, which means price of 1 unit of USD in terms of rubles, or price of 1 unit of currency A in terms of currency B, which is the same as value of 1 unit of A being equivalent, obviously, to some number of units of B. So typically, USD ruble tomorrow, USD ruble tomorrow is greater than USD ruble today.
So if we choose tomorrow, it means that we buy or sell by tomorrow's price, even though we do it today.
No, it means that we fix the price now at the current time T. So we trade, you remember how it happens? We trade this instrument now, but you will only, if you buy USD, you will only receive your dollars tomorrow after 17:30. but the price is fixed now. Price is fixed now. Delivery or settlement is tomorrow. So we fix the price now for delivery tomorrow, and the price for delivery tomorrow appears to be greater than the price for delivering today. Interestingly enough.
So USD to ruble tomorrow is fixed value. It's not
It is fixed at the moment now when the
Mhm.
trade is made. We traded this instrument. Actually, what it means traded, we'll see in a second. It's not so obvious. But when we make a trade, we fix the price. For example, we buy USD ruble, which means we buy USD and pay in rubles. By the way, let's put it in writing. What does it mean? Buy the instrument USD ruble tomorrow at some price. It means
And why
buy.
correction?
I would say buy Q instruments. USD ruble tomorrow at some price, which means that after 17:30 tomorrow, if you buy, you receive. If you buy Q units, it means you receive Q USDs. For example, 1,000, you receive 1,000 USDs. You pay. How much do you pay in this case? Q units times price rubles at that time. Okay, so you make this trade now. For example, Moscow exchange opens at 10 o'clock. In 14 minutes, trading will start on the 20th of January today at the Moscow exchange. Just at 10:09 on the 20th of January, we make this trade. We buy Q units of our instrument, USD ruble tomorrow at some price. For example, 73.69, which means that not immediately, but only after 17:30 tomorrow, the buyer will receive this number of USDs on their USD account and pay quantity times price rubles for those USDs. And if you sell Q instruments USD ruble tomorrow again at some price, which means that after 17:30 tomorrow, what happens? You pay from your USD account Q units of USD, you receive Q times price rubles. Okay?
And when we say that USD ruble tomorrow is greater than USD ruble today, we mean what exactly? That it's better to sell with tomorrow label or buy with tomorrow label?
You see, better or not, it is a question. But if, for example, it doesn't matter that much for you when you will receive or pay your USDs. So, for example, you have some rubles and you have some rubles and you would like to buy USD at a cheaper price. Then, interestingly enough, it is cheaper to buy with delivery today. So you have a limited amount of rubles. So basically, you would like to pay less for your USD. So USD ruble exchange rate is smaller for USD ruble today. And in that case, you would really better buy today. And if, on the other hand, you would like to sell your rubles and get USDs, and it doesn't really matter that much for you. For a private individual, it is probably not that much important. For a financial institution, it is important. So, for example, you have some amount of rubles, you would like to okay, you would like to buy USD, then it is better to buy at a lower price, of course, at today. But if you have USDs and you would like to get rubles, so then you sell USD ruble, because in this case, as you see, you receive rubles. So in this second scenario, then obviously you would like to receive as much as possible rubles for selling the same amount of USDs. So you receive Q times price, and obviously you would like this price to be as high as possible. So in this case, in the first case, you optimally go for today. In the second case, you optimally go for tomorrow. And the question is whether you can make some kind of trading strategy based on this disparity between USD ruble today and USD ruble tomorrow. The answer is probably you can, but there is nothing really that much interesting in that kind of trading strategy. I will explain in a second why this happens. Let us stop for a very minute and reflect. What I wrote here, is it more or less clear and understandable?
So our benefit is the difference between how many units we pay and how many we receive.
Sorry, difference how much you pay and how much you receive?
Yes.
You mean this Q and Q times price?
Yes, I tried to find out what is the benefit in this trades. So
Generally, there is no benefit. You just, in each particular single trade, you can't say what the benefit is. It is just an exchange. It is, you would say there is any profit or loss only if you compare two time instance. So for example, we had, let us make it a little bit more precise. So if you do it at just some time t, as we say at any time t, then it is impossible to ask, well, possible, but a little bit more subtle, to ask questions, what is the benefit of this trade, for example, buying or selling USD? You don't know. What is impossible, what is possible to say is that if, for example, there are two times, T1 and T2, okay? And at time T1, suppose that your instruments is, for the sake of the argument, USD ruble today, for example. And we have price of I, of this instrument. So suppose that price of I at T1 equals to P1, and price of I at T2 equals to P2. Suppose that at time T1, you sold some quantity Q.
I'm sorry. Time T1 and time T2 is the same day today.
Yes, within today.
Okay.
Otherwise, yes. For the sake of the argument, let's say initially today. So suppose that you bought some quantity Q or you sold some quantity Q. In financial terms, by the way, when you buy this instrument, you bought it, it is called long Q. You go long Q. If you sold, it is going short Q. So long and short are very important financial terms, long or short. Long, which means you buy your instrument, short means you sell your instrument. Effectively, when you long USD ruble, what does it mean, by the way? Long USD ruble. It means that, and in any case, you long A to B, which means that you long A, because you really buy A, and you short B. Why you short B? Because you pay in units of B. Or if you short A to B, means you short or sell A and you long or buy B. Now, whether it is a profitable deal or not depends on prices P1 and P2. Okay, you long USD ruble and suppose that P1 is less than P2. So you long USD ruble, effectively for a given amount of rubles, you buy USD in this case, and the value of USD increases over time. So which means profit. And the profit is equal to your quantity times P2 minus P1. It is very easy to see that at time T2, you can short your instrument, fixing the price in rubles equal to the quantity times the price difference. You long USD, USD becomes more expensive, and you win. Obviously, if P1 is greater than P2, you buy USD, but the value of USD, what is P1? Is basically the value of USD in terms of ruble. You buy USD, the value of USD is decreasing over time, which means that you make a loss equals to, the absolute loss equals to P1 minus P2 by absolute value. And a situation that was for long, and a similar situation, but just other way around, happens if you short Q. If P1 is greater than, is less than P2, you short USD, but USD becomes more expensive, then it is a loss equals to Q times P2 minus P1. If P1 is greater than P2, it is profit equals to Q times P1 minus P2. Okay? Is it more or less clear?
So the benefit is a term of 2 points of time.
In 2 points of time, yes.
Okay.
It is generally not possible, I would say generally, because there might be some difference to that, but generally it is not possible to say whether your trade is profitable. Let's make a financial term. You say benefit, but financial term is profit or loss. We say profit or loss. And there is even a term, very important and widespread one, which is called P&L, which is sometimes also spelled PNL, which is profit and loss, which is of course not correct. There is no and here, which actually means profit or loss. There is no and in reality. But so P&L is in fact profit or loss. Positive P&L means profit. Negative P&L means loss. And at each particular time t, when you make a trade, it is in general not possible to say whether the trade is a profit or loss. You really don't know. Well, if the trade is made at a market price, obviously. So if you observe the market price, for example, being 73 now, but you buy your USD at 100, then from someone, not from the exchange. From the exchange, you wouldn't be able to buy it at 100. From the exchange, you really buy it at the market price. But if you buy it from someone, from me, at 100, then it is definitely a price outside of the market. You pay far too much for your USD, and you can conclude immediately that it is a loss, right? Simply because it is a price outside of the market. Or if you sell your USD for whatever reason for $10 per ruble, whereas the market price is 73 at the moment, then it is a loss as well. You understand it. But if you make a trade at the market price, and the market price is precisely the price which you observe at the exchange, then at any particular t, it is not possible to say whether the trade is a profit or loss. Only by comparing what will happen at some another time t2, you would be able to see whether your trade is a profit or loss. And again, it doesn't really mean much for you. So if, for example, you long your USD, but the price P2 is going down, then it is notionally a loss, as we obviously have seen in our table. But you are not required to sell your USD at this point, and you wouldn't fix your loss. You may, for example, wait a little bit until some another time T3, when the price P3 becomes greater than your original P1. And in that case, your temporary loss, which unrealized loss, which you observed at T2, which was a virtual loss, would turn into profit again. So you fixed your price at T1, and then at any subsequent time when the price is higher, if you're long USD, then you're at profit, at unrealized profit yet. It will be realized if you really sell at that time. At any time when the price is lower than the original price P1, you are at loss, but again it is unrealized loss yet until you are forced to sell your USD. If you are forced to sell at that time, for example, you urgently need rubles and you are forced to sell, then yes, you fix this loss because you receive back rubles, and the amount of rubles you receive back is smaller than the amount of rubles you originally paid. In that case, you are fixing the loss according to the table here. But if you are not forced to sell, then you can simply stay, as we say in financial terms, stay in your position, which means keep your USDs for the moment and hopefully wait until better time when P3 becomes greater than P1. And you may sell at that point. And then you're at a profit. Okay?
Okay, and actually I have one more question.
Yes.
Maybe it's kind of stupid, but it's not clear for me.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
For example, on the first case, when you buy USD ruble tomorrow, you receive some USDs. Okay, yes?
Yes.
But when you sell this, you receive some Q rubles.
Yes.
And what is your currency on your wallet? So if you want to buy USD to ruble, you should pay some ruble. But
Okay.
if there is only USD on your wallet, what?
Very good point. So in order to, very good point. In order to conduct this type of operations, when you go, for example, to the Moscow exchange, until recently, I think regulation may have slightly changed now. I will need to double check how it works right now. But until recently, private individuals and small firms were not allowed to go to the exchange directly. You had to provide very large deposits, I think maybe in billions of rubles, in order to go for the exchange directly. But you could go through the broker, and then the broker would represent you at the exchange, which virtually means to you almost the same thing as direct participation. I am not discussing the details at this moment, maybe at some point we will. Then either the exchange itself, if you are big enough, or your broker, if you use the broker, open two wallets for you, one for rubles and one for USD. And these transactions are going exactly as we have seen here. You see, you receive QUSDs. Where? On your USD wallet. You see? You pay Q times price rubles. From which wallet? From which account? We say account. From your ruble account. So you have both actually USD and a ruble account. And if, for the moment, let's say technically, if initially you started your trading having only rubles on your account, then can you make this trade, for example, pay QUSDs and receive rubles if at this moment you don't have USDs on your account, but you only have rubles? What do you think? Can you do this in that case?
Logically, it seems no, because we need to pay.
Technically, you are right. So the answer is no, because you don't have USDs. Each account is supposed to be positive only. But in some situations, if you have enough rubles, but for example, no USDs, you can still make trades like this. Your USD account would become negative in this case, and your broker or the clearinghouse of the exchange, the clearinghouse is precisely the bank which performs all these settlement operations, may allow your USD account to go negative, provided that you have enough rubles on your ruble account, but they will charge interest on you for your account being negative. So in general, the answer is whether you can make either of these accounts negative. It depends on your broker or the clearinghouse of the exchange, whether they will allow you to do that or not. Typically, they will, but they will charge some interest to your account for allowing you to do that. In that case, so basically when you go to the Moscow exchange, you need to open accounts either with the clearinghouse or your broker for all currencies you are going to trade. If you are going to trade USD, ruble, and euro, you open 3 different accounts, and all these transactions occur with those accounts. Okay. By the way, clearinghouse is precisely part of the exchange, which performs all these transactions, and the transactions are basically adding rubles to one account, one client account, subtracting rubles from another client account, adding USD to account X, subtracting USDs from account Y, USD account Y, and so on and so on. In the Moscow exchange, this clearinghouse which performs this type of operations is called, have you heard this term, the National Clearing Center. The National Clearing Center, NCC, is, by the way, just a bank. And by the way, it is a very large bank. I think it is the fourth largest bank in the Russian Federation. But unlike ordinary banks, for example, where you can get a loan from, make a deposit to this bank, can get a mortgage from this bank, can get a credit card from this bank, National Clearing Center, although it is a bank, it does not perform any operations of that kind. The only function of this bank is to support operations, account operations for the Moscow exchange. So you can either be, that's you, okay? You can either be a member directly of the National Clearing Center, but if I remember correctly, until very recently, you really had to possess billions of rubles in order to be able to do so. If you can't, then instead of being a direct member of the National Clearing Center, you become member of a broker, and your broker is a member, again, of the National Clearing Center. And this allows you to trade. So this is for big guys, this is for small guys. And brokers are, what are the brokers you know, for example, and the Moscow exchange? Any? Well, have you heard the names like of companies like BCS, Открытие, I think it is spelled like this. There are some others which play this role.
Brokers, you mean organizations that allows you to buy and sell, sell and buy.
Yes, yes. So you see, if you are just a private individual, you are not allowed to open accounts with the National Clearing Center by itself. And National Clearing Center performs all these settlements at the Moscow exchange, right? So if you are a private individual, you are just not big enough, you wouldn't be able to do that. But what you can do, you can open your account with a broker. A broker is a big player, it is a big organization. For example, both BCS and Открытие are banks. So they are allowed to become members of the National Clearing Center. And you have a sub account with your broker. So a broker has an accounts for each currency, USD, ruble, euro, JPY, and so on with the National Clearing Center. And you have sub accounts with your broker. In this case, broker performs all these operations on your behalf with the National Clearing Center. Unfortunately, this means that you need to pay extra to your broker. The broker charges you some extra fees for these operations for representing you at the National Clearing Center, which allows you to trade at the Moscow exchange. So there are multiple brokers available. BCS, открытие, some banks, like for example, Alpha, Alpha Direct, which is a member, part of Alpha Bank.
But открытие broker is not a part of bank открытие.
They are same group, yes.
Oh.
As well as BCS is a bank, a broker, and some other services in one place as well. There is this barter rate, actually. I personally, most recently, I have been using Alpha Direct from Alpha Bank. I am a former Alpha Bank managing director myself. Okay, so that's how it works. Still, there is one question unanswered, and this question is very interesting. We say USD ruble exchange rate today is typically smaller than USD ruble exchange rate tomorrow at a given time t. Why? What do you think? Why is that?
I think this may happen, first of all, because those are two different prices, and because the other traders are predicting the ruble to fall even further for tomorrow.
Generally, yes, but the question is, why all traders would consistently predict that the ruble is falling and falling and falling and falling over time? Why is that? You are saying precisely this. So ruble value is constantly and consistently predicted to fall relative to USD value. Why? Why do you think? Is it because just, something is so much fundamentally wrong with our economy that, we have a very dark and gloom future, and it is falling and falling and falling until it splashes down? Is it because of this? This inequality is correct. Typically, over long periods of time, USD ruble today is less than USD ruble tomorrow. But why?
Maybe because of like demand, like that most people want to buy dollars, not rubles. So
It would be strange and a very gloomy picture. Yes, so if there is a consistent demand for buying USD and USD and USD and getting rid of rubles, then it is precisely this gloomy picture which I painted. In fact, there is absolutely nothing gloomy about this, and the reason is extremely simple, which we'll see in a minute, which is related to, by the way, that would be a nice exercise, one of the nice exercises we can do. The reason is related to interest rates. Okay, let us discuss this. This is important. Interest rates. So what is the interest rate? If you keep your rubles or USDs on an account, then typically the bank pays you interest for using your currencies, your USD or ruble, which you deposited to the account. So for example, if this is a ruble account and this is t equal to 0, and this is t equals to, for example, t capital, you deposited n rubles at time t equal to 0, then at at time t equal to t capital, your account would grow due to the interest. And there are several definitions of the interest rates. In this particular case, I would use a constant, a notion of continuously compounded instantaneous rate. What it means, we'll see in a second. So it is called continuously compounded instantaneous rate. Which I will call RB. Actually, RB may also be a function of time, but for the sake of the argument, suppose that it is constant for the moment. And in that case, if you deposited n rubles at time t equal to 0, at time t capital, your ruble account grows to n times exponent of RB times t. Continuously compounded instantaneous rate is precisely defined to be a rate such that your account would be growing to this value, exponent n times exponent of RT times B. Obviously, for small RB and T, this is approximately equal to n times 1 plus RB times T. So n times RBT is roughly the increment you will receive on your account. But more precisely, it is n times exponent of RBT. And similarly, if you have USDs on your account and you have t equal to 0 and t equal to t capital here, and you have, so suppose that you have n ruble here, and you have some amount of USD here, then you receive on your USD account n USD exponent of, you remember we have A to B, A is USD, B is ruble, then I will call USD rate will be called RA, just to be short, and USD or NA or NB, as you like, exponent of RA times T. Both are growing. But the question is, which of them is growing faster? So let us examine the following situation. So suppose that at time t equal to 0, there is a USD, let me say, for the moment I will consider the abstract USD ruble without any explicit settlement date, just USD ruble abstract exchange rate. Why without settlement? Because the diagram which I'm going to paint is precisely to indicate the role of this settlement date. So suppose that there is a USD ruble, some USD ruble instantaneous exchange rate. Suppose that it is a fictitious product. You receive your USD ruble trade results immediately. We know that in fact it is not immediate, but suppose that it is a fictitious product, so you immediately exchange your USD for rubles. Instantaneous, immediate. And obviously this exchange rate is not constant, it changes over time. So, and I denote this by xt, the value of this instantaneous rate. So what happens? Suppose that at t equal to 0, you have some USDs and you have some rubles. So you have, for example, 1 USD, and this 1 USD you can exchange at this fictitious instantaneous rate For how many rubles? At t equal to 0. Suppose that you receive them immediately. Suppose that you have 1 USD, which is equivalent to x0 rubles, right? That's your exchange rate as a function of t. At t equal to 0, 1 USD is equivalent to x0 rubles. Correct or not? Probably correct. So what you can do with your 1 USD? You can exchange it for x rubles. But on the other hand, what you can also do, you can, instead of exchanging it for rubles, you can keep your USD on your USD account. And at time t equal to t capital, this 1 USD will become exponent of array t USDs on your USD account. So that's the status of your USD account, then the status of your ruble account. Okay? Array times t. On the other hand, if you really sold your USD at time t equal to 0, you got x0 rubles. Now your interest is growing, accruing, as we say, on your ruble account. So x0 rubles at time t will become x0 exponent of RB, B is a ruble, t. So you see, there are two fates of what can happen with your USD at time t. Either you get this amount of USDs, or you exchange it for rubles, let your ruble interest accrue on your account, and then you get this amount of rubles. But what does it mean? At t equal to t capital, there is another exchange rate, xt capital. It was x0 here at t equal to 0, but now there is another exchange rate, USD ruble, called xt. What you can do, at that rate, you got your exponent of array t USDs, and now you can exchange them for rubles at t equal to t capital at that new rate, xt capital. In this case, you will receive xt capital, you receive rubles. Sorry, you receive rubles. How many rubles? You receive xt capitals exponent of array t. So there are two possible ruble values, x0 exponent of RBT and xt exponent of array t. Either you keep your USDs and exchange later, earn interest first, exchange later, or exchange first and get interest. So these two values in rubles you can get. What do you think? What you can say about these two values? That's value 1. That's value 2. How do you think they compare with each other?
It looks like XTERET is greater than X0ERBT.
I would say that in each particular situation, we don't know, really don't know, because, for example, xt is typically a random value which is affected by many factors. But on average, and this is very important, they must be equal. And this is a very, very, very important thing. Must be equal. Why they must be equal? It is a very important financial principle which is called no arbitrage. Arbitrage is a risk-free guaranteed profit at the financial markets. So if we know that, for example, systematically and consistently, xt exponent of RAT is greater than x0 exponent of RBT, so the second value is greater. We know that systematically always it should be greater. Then what will happen? That then we'll simply not exchange our USDs to rubles at all at time t equal to 0. No point. It would be much, much more profitable in this case to wait until a later time t capital and exchange them. But because we know that this happens at each particular at each and every time, then this time t capital will never happen. It will always be a better idea to wait and wait and wait and exchange later, which means that the exchange market wouldn't work at all. If we know that it is other way around, that x0 exponent of RBT is more profitable, then all people will go this way. They will just sell all available USDs now. In the first case, they will not sell and wait and wait and wait until indefinitely. In the second case, they will sell all USDs now. And then there will be simply no exchange at T capital later on because there are no USDs. So it is not possible to define XT in this case. So we say that both values can be at any relationship with each other in general, both less than or greater than, but on average, or must be equal on average. But on average, they must be equal due to this no arbitrage principle. And if they are equal to no arbitrage principle, of course, we are now at t equal to 0. We know x0, we do not know xt. If they are equal on average, we can say that x0 exponent of RBT equal to, we don't know the future value of xt, but we say on average, this is the average or mean value. Average xt times exponent of RAT is equal to this, from which it follows immediately that xt average is exponent of, is obviously x0 exponent of, multiplying both sides by exponent of minus RAT, exponent of RB minus RA times T. So the future expected value of USD ruble, what is this X average T? It is the future expected value of USD ruble. X0 is the current, not expected, but known, because we are currently at time t equal to 0, current known value of USD ruble. This one is known. This one is expected. So whether xt is greater than x0, xt bar, it depends on RB and RA. RB is the exchange rate for rubles. Over very long periods of time, the exchange, the interest rate for ruble, the interest rates for ruble are sufficiently high. For example, for the moment, RB is 0. What is the current interest rate for ruble? Do you remember? As set by the Russian Central Bank. 4.25%. 0.0425, which is 4.25%. What is the value of RA, the interest rate of USD? Interest rate for USD is set by the American Federal Reserve. And roughly speaking, it is currently 0. And it is 0 for very long periods of time, near 0. In any case, for the past, I think in the past 20 years at least, RB was always greater than RA. In the past 20 years. And now, because RB is systematically greater than RA, this exponent is greater than 1. And due to this, we would have the next expected value xt bar is greater than x0. So the traders anticipate that on average, USD ruble rate would grow, not because of any, let's say, you know, doom and gloom and catastrophic state of the Russian economy. It has nothing to do with that, but simply because the interest rate on a ruble is greater than the interest rate on USD. Larger, it may seem a paradox, but please think about it. A larger interest rate on the rubles means that on average, the ruble value relative to USD value is declining, simply because of a larger interest rate and for no particular reason. In reality, of course, the real XT is random and it oscillates around this average predicted value, but on average, this situation happens. Interestingly enough, the currency with a larger interest rate, like ruble, loses its value over time compared to the currency with a small interest rate. That's important to remember. The currency with a larger interest rate loses value faster. Why? Because interest rate means that this currency is multiplied, is generated, is emitted, as we say, at a larger rate. So over time, there are more and more and more and more rubles created at a larger rate than USDs are created. Because on average, we get more rubles over time than new USDs created over time. This means that the relative value of a ruble is smaller, simply because there are more rubles being produced. But there is absolutely nothing sinister about it. This is a completely normal economic process. This is simply due to a difference in interest rates. And obviously for all major currencies, interest rates are different. And it is completely normal that one currency is appreciated, means increasing its value, or depreciated, means decreasing its value relative to another country. It is all due to a mismatch in interest rates. And if we say, for example, t equals to only one business day, and for x0, this instantaneous rate, for x0, we say it is USD ruble tomorrow, today, and for xt, we say USD ruble tomorrow, then yes, we will typically have that xt expected value is the current x0 exponent of RB minus RA times one business day, where this one business day, RB and RA are expressed as annualized per year interest rates, and this one business day must be expressed as a year fraction. We'll do this exercise later on and we'll see whether this relationship holds. That's what you can expect. That's why on average we would say expected xt is greater than x0, slightly but greater. Okay. Any questions on that? We didn't come yet to the point of discussing the trading mechanisms at the exchange yet, but it is very important that we formulated some important properties of our currencies, which we will, by the way, examine later on. So this relationship t is greater than x0, and moreover, we know approximately by how much greater, is something which we can check. And you remember, one of our tasks is to perform data cleanup and to understand whether the data we have acquired is in general valid or not. So this is a kind of invariant which we'll be able to apply to our USD ruble, euro ruble, USD ruble today and tomorrow exchange rates, and to see whether we are going to get a more or less correct values. Also, next time, we'll see the invariance connecting three currencies, for example, USD, ruble, and euro, what we can make of three of them. So there are a lot of things in an apparently simple exchange setup, which we can do with our data. And that is all part of data mining. Okay? Any questions on that? If none, then I must apologize for time overrun. And we are done for today. Thank you for attention.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.